Here we go. Good morning.
Morning, all.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
I can
sound
hear you
good.
back. That's good. I got some wings going on this morning. Maybe they're my side horns. Who knows?
Something
Well,
like that.
yep, it's Monday and
Yay for Monday.
Monday the 13th of February. And this month is already halfway over.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. I had a fairly good weekend. Not you?
Mine wasn't excellent, but it was all right.
That's good. You're still standing, right?
Yeah, only shipped out 3 on Friday and shipping out 4 today.
Yeah, that's what
So
I got to ship out today. And that's for Friday afternoon to yesterday. I got 4, so not too bad, but I didn't list very well the week prior to that, so that
neither
definitely
did
shows.
I.
Luckily, I
Yeah,
had a
neither
few.
did I.
I had a few sales kind of trickle in, but it's time to get back on it. Time
Yep.
to list.
Yep.
You've got
Yeah.
what, 4 more days off or 3 more days off?
I have to go to work Thursday night, so that gives me
3.5.
yeah, because I can work Thursday too.
Yeah, that's good.
And I got a lot of stuff done this last couple of days, so I'm glad.
That's good. Did you put the link in the thingy?
I'm doing it right now.
Okay. You're so good.
I'm not that good.
Good. Come on, don't be modest.
Yeah, Queen City Picker says I need to get a bazillion things done today, or bazillion things listed today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me too. I still need to do a lot. I need to get on it and just do it.
Yep. Let me see. Nikki, I'm gonna call you now.
What are they gonna call her?
Nikki. Oh, that was funny. Um, yeah, I mean, as far as the challenge goes, I've definitely um, listed quite a few of the not so sexy pile.
Oh yeah, me too.
Kind of my whole pile was not so sexy. So we got it done though. We got quite a bit of
Well, I've been doing a lot of shoes, which I've had them underneath my desk in a box for I don't know how long.
yeah.
Um, Probably at least a month. And really anything with them. But I started working on them last night and trying to get them out of there.
Yeah. Shoes are good. Shoes do really good for me.
Yeah, I was amazed to see what like flats go for. And those isotoner ones that I was telling you about.
Hmm.
I was really surprised. The um Anissa says what sexy stuff to list. Lol. And Valerie said not so sexy because we're trying to get out of the habit of saying death pile. So the not so sexy stuff is stuff that you're not gonna, bring home, list right away. It's stuff that sits around and you're not really excited about it, or you don't think it's gonna sell for very much or whatever, and it just sits there. Oh, she says she knows. She was kidding. Well, then I just explained for everybody else who didn't know.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I did. I did
So
pretty decent. I got what did I got 6 remotes listed yesterday, so that was
that's
good.
good. Yeah. I mean, I think I've already gotten my 25 to tell you the truth,
Yeah,
from
Did you say you listed
Thursday.
totes?
I listed some remotes. Yes,
Remotes.
remote controllers. Which I would say probably on average they do about $10. There's some that are a little more expensive, but
Remotes sell
for the
pretty
most
good.
part, they're
They do
just
all
kind of a
right.
bread.
Some of them can be a little long tail, but usually they do pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They always sell eventually, anyways. If they're not real sought after, they do always sell.
Hmm.
I have one
Yep.
that is it's an NEC and it's goes to like a projector.
Oh,
Oh.
So, and that one was the only one out of the bunch that I didn't list or that I listed the time before, and that's the only one that didn't sell. So
mm,
I figured that one's probably going to be the special buyer type of thing.
yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
I didn't get anything listed this weekend. I was busy all weekend.
Really?
It's terrible. I had 8 sales. 8 sales I gotta get packaged this morning. I didn't
That's
package
good.
anything this morning or nothing. Or this weekend. Which usually I try to keep up on it, especially on the weekend. But yeah, for not listing anything, 8 sales was pretty good, I thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good for not listing.
There might be more. Let's see. That's 8. I think I sold 10 things this weekend altogether. Yeah, because 8 are shipped now, paid and shipped now. But I think I did package a couple of them, so I think I did sell 10. Which for not
That's good.
listing anything, that's amazing. So it must have just been a really good weekend because
yeah,
Yeah.
if I don't list, because I haven't listed probably since Thursday. And for not listing since Thursday, that's pretty darn good. Because usually if I don't list, I'm lucky if I see a couple sales.
Right.
So do not do what I do. My 8 sales this or 10 sales this weekend was luck, pure luck.
Right.
but
Man,
that's the thing too is if you get back on it, you get back on the wagon, then you'll continue those sales.
well, today
You might have a little bit of a lull, but
today it's supposed to be 41. So me and my nephew are gonna go through my storage shed today and straighten it up a little bit so I can find something. And
yeah,
probably do some inventory to make sure I can find stuff when I need to. Because the last 5 things that I've sold out of my storage shed, I have not been able to find.
Oh
So I had to go
no.
on Amazon. luckily they all had stuff I could buy off of Amazon and send it to them, and all but one ended up being less than what they paid me. So I mean, still made a profit, but
Oh,
it's not a good way to do business.
no. And oh man, I can't stand it when that happens to me. It's happened like
Yeah.
2 or 3 times, and I cannot stand that. It
Well,
stresses me out.
it's just unneeded stress, you know. See,
Yeah.
the things in my storage shed are stuff. When my mother-in-law was sick, I had to stay in town with her,
Hmm.
and she was in the nurse. Then she was in the nursing home, but we still stayed in town at her place because she would have issue. They would have issues with her and stuff like that. We had to be there. You know, we just wanted to be closer. You know.
Yeah.
So so all the stuff in the storage shed pretty much is stuff that I listed while I was staying at her house.
Yeah.
And excuse me. And so, you know, I used to have a little inventory thing with some index cards and stuff of that stuff, and it used to sit in the van, and somehow it all got lost. So I have no inventory for that stuff at all anymore.
Hmm.
And then when
Right.
she passed away, we put all of her stuff in the storage shed, ended up burying a bunch of my stuff. And then one day we decided to go through the storage shed a little bit and find some stuff. And I had to go to the bathroom one day, so and it's only a couple blocks away. So I left a bunch of stuff outside instead of putting it back in the storage shed because I really had to go fast. And I came back and all those boxes were gone.
Oh my
Oh
God.
no.
And some of that stuff was my listed stuff. So I tried to remove everything I could think of that was in there, but of course some probably fell through the crack
Oh,
because there were
yeah.
probably 5, 6 boxes that got stolen of stuff.
Oh wow.
Wow.
And and I mean, who does that? If something's sitting right outside a storage shed, it's not like it was on the end of a storage unit or sitting on the edge of the road or anything. It was like right by my door. My husband locked up the storage
Wow.
shed. Otherwise, who knows what they would have taken. But
Right.
anyway,
They probably would have taken everything that you had.
yeah. And then so there's a lot of stuff in there that didn't get taken off. So I'm sure that's where those 5 items ended up. And of course, they boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, got to get, you know. And when I went on vacation this year, I don't know if I ever told you guys, when I went on vacation this year, I miscounted my days or something and ended up screwing up all my shipping. And of course, while I was on vacation for like a month, that was like the most sales I've ever had, you know. And
Oh man.
and so anyways, like probably 30 or 40 sales on my one store. Um, all were got dings on them because I shipped them late.
Oh.
Yeah, because I
Wow.
miscounted my days. And
Oh no.
yeah, so I ended up going below standard and on a lot of my or on my one store. And
I've been there before.
I've been working now. That was
Did you
in
get
what, September I came back. Um, so yeah, it's been since like September or October that I've been below standard, and I'm still below
did
standard
you
on
did
the
you
one.
get suspended?
No, I didn't get suspended because I've always showed
Well, that's good.
improvement, so they never bothered me about it. They just every month
That's
send me
good.
an email saying, "Well, you're below standard, but as long as you show improvement, you know, you won't be affected." Well, now this week they sent me an email saying that they were taking away my store subscription or lowering me down to the basic store subscription. Which, what is that supposed to do?
Oh,
Slap me on the hand for what? You know? But I haven't had any, and nothing has gone down. I've only gotten better. So I don't know why they're doing that. I suppose I didn't improve it fast enough. I don't know. But see, on my second store, that's where I listed all my death pile items, and I listed a bunch of crap, low price crap, to try to just get some inventory out. And I just wanted, and I put it
mhm.
all, I loaded my little store up with it, and so it hasn't been selling as much as the other store. So yeah,
Right.
it's not getting me out of the below standard fast enough because I'm not selling enough out of that
Yeah.
store.
Right.
So yeah, I'm having
Yeah.
newbie problems, even though I'm not even close to being a newbie.
Well, sometimes we have to, do things a couple of times to figure it out, and maybe try, kind of doing a plan to where instead of listing a whole bunch of new stuff, maybe go back through your listings, do an inventory,
Yeah.
and,
Yes.
try and work out what you have right now. Just have your really good items on there. Take everything off that's going to yard sale, or do your yard sale trash and stuff to list.
But
And
I've been
you know
I've been kind of going through things, removing things and stuff like that, and putting some better stuff up and see if I can get that store moving along a little better. It's
yeah,
kind of
you
letting
can get out of
secondhand
it.
shit.
You can get out of it. You need
Yeah.
to plan how you're gonna do it. I had to.
The sad thing is on all the years that I've done eBay, I've never had this issue.
Right. Well, I mean, as long as you are shipping your packages now really good, and not having a problem with that, and if your sales are good, you shouldn't have a problem.
Well, I have to call them
I
because
wouldn't think.
I think what the last time this week when they said, "Oh, well, we're going to lower your store subscription," I think it might be coming from these digital delivery things that I was going to do. I had a bunch of software that
Mm-hmm.
software out of that new box of stuff that sold quite a bit,
Right.
but some stuff that it only comes with a code. It doesn't come with the actual software. You have to go download it. But so all I had to do was send the people the activation code through messaging. So I think they might be dinging me on those. And there
Huh.
was probably 8 or 9 of those I think I sold, or 10. So that would definitely knock my percentages down.
Right.
Them today and see if I can
So
get those fixed.
so you didn't actually send anything out in the mail?
No, it was all
Okay.
delivery. So I'm going to call them today and say, hey, look at my messages. You can see that I sent the item to the people. And
Yeah, and I know what Dusty does whenever he does anything like that. He always sends like a thank you note or something like that saying, "Hey, just wanted to make sure everything was good with the code," and
yeah,
just so that there is something
mm-hmm.
being sent,
Yeah,
so that he doesn't get that ding, because I know that's happened to a lot of people, a lot of people that deal with software codes and stuff like that.
mm-hmm.
So,
I'm going to call them
yeah,
today
just so.
because I did it all through my eBay messaging. So they can see
Mhm.
that I did send the codes and everything. So I'll just call
Right,
eBay.
right.
They'll fix it. But I think that's why
Yeah.
my level went down just now because of that, I think. But I'll get it fixed.
Yeah.
I'm not worried.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
mean,
that
sometimes it takes a little bit of planning,
I'm
but
not worried about it. It's just it's frustrating because I've always been 100% on both my stores,
right.
and with that whole miscounting thing when I was on vacation and screwing up my account, and it just frustrates me because I'm not that way. I don't run my business that way. My other store is in perfect standing, you know. So
I'm surprised I'm still I mean, I'm not surprised that I'm still doing good, but it's like I was like in the red. I was just not disqualified. I was gonna say
mhm.
disqualified. I I was in on probation or whatever, and where they would only let you list like 50 items or less.
Oh.
And it was bad.
Mm-hmm.
It was because of my returns.
Oh.
And because I had a whole bunch like all at once. And, some of them were my fault, some of them weren't my fault. And, and I wasn't even really doing clothing at that time. Not if I was, it wasn't a whole lot. But it was just minor stuff that I was missing, putting in the listing. And so I was like, this sucks, man, because I just wanted to, do good at this, and I had just started out.
Yeah.
And I was already getting messed up, so I had to go and take all my items down that I had put up because I was already at like 150 or 200, and I had to go and take everything down except the good stuff that I know that I could sell. And then I had to go through those listings and make sure that they were all correct. Pull
Mm.
the stuff out again, look it over, make sure I spot any defects or anything about it, and just, really go through it.
Yeah.
And then now I'm top rated and all that good stuff. I mean, and it took time
But
and it
you
took
but you were
planning.
new. You know, you got a little excuse there. Me, I'm not new. I'm not even close to being new. And I've kept 100% on both of my stores for these years. Let's see, my
Uh,
second store I've had for, I think, 3 years now. And just now, I have gotten negative feedbacks, my first negative feedbacks on that store. You know,
yeah.
after 3 years of having it. It's either 3 or 4 years, but yeah, so it's frustrating.
Yeah, but the negative feedbacks don't even really even hurt you anymore.
Well, I know, but I'm
Like,
just saying that after all these years, I just now got a
mhm.
negative feedback. And it was my own stupidity by miscounting my days. And I was lazy and didn't want to come off of vacation and couldn't get back into the whole swing of things. And, it was my own fault. I'm not blaming anybody but myself. But boy, is it hard to
Yeah, I
do
mean,
it. If anybody is listening to this, do not get yourself below standard because it's a hell of a time to get yourself back out of it.
it
This
was,
is
and
mud.
it was even for me too.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't even top rated or anything, but I was above standard at the time that I got below standard.
Yeah.
I was above standard for a while, and then all of a sudden I'm below standard, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And it just Valerie knows. She
Mm-hmm.
she was like, you could do it, you just gotta, figure it out and,
Yeah.
keep at it, but it really sucked.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, it was definitely a struggle for her,
Just one oop
but she
can
just
do it.
had to
Yeah.
keep at it and keep at it and keep at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And, before long it was a thing of, just making sure that everything that I was listing, that I was, making sure that I was putting in item specifics, and that seemed to help a lot,
Mm-hmm.
for um, me to be able to show the buyer what they were getting,
Yeah.
and it really helped a lot because at first I wasn't putting anything in item specifics really,
Mm-hmm.
except what I had to. So
Right.
it did help.
And another thing that hurt me was when people would ask for a return because I didn't ship their stuff out on time. I let
Yeah.
eBay close the case. I didn't
Mm.
bother with it. So
Oh.
that's another thing
Oh.
I got dings on.
Yeah.
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 And then
That's a no no.
And now, see, I used to sell enough where dings never affected my account if I got any, because I was a high seller and I was good. I didn't get dings very often. that
Yeah.
whole going on vacation thing and all those listings getting a ding at the same time because I didn't get them shipped out on time, and then just leaving my account be, not paying attention to the people that wanted returns, and just eBay will close it automatically and refund them, but
Right.
that'll give you a ding, but dings
Yeah.
have never bothered me because I always am a high volume seller. But this summer I haven't really been listing as much and not selling as much, especially on my second store. And yeah, that's
Right.
how I ended up getting nailed, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I understand they have to have their thing guidelines that they go by, just so they're not letting anybody sell anything, but um, sometimes they could be a little bit picky.
The system is good. I mean, could I have called them and maybe got things turned around? Probably, maybe, I don't know. But
Maybe.
the system is good. I mean, because you got to stop and think. Now, I'm a good seller, and I wasn't trying to screw anybody or do anything wrongful.
Right.
You know, it was a mistake. But just think about all the bad sellers out there who are
Yeah.
just trying to take people's money, who are not giving good service, not whatever. This system
Right.
works. You know,
Yeah.
when I send something out, I know eBay and PayPal most likely will have my back.
Yeah.
Maybe not 100% of the time, but most of the time, a lot more so now than a few years ago.
Right.
So I mean, it's a
Yeah.
good system. I'm not bad mouthing the system. I'm not saying, "Oh, eBay put me below standard. Screw them, blah, they're mean, whatever." No, it's my own
Right.
fault. I did it. It was my own screw up, and now I'm paying the piper for it, Which I've got my
Yeah.
other store is good standing. The two stores are not connected in any way, shape, or form. I made sure of that when I first started the second store because my second store is the stuff that I share on YouTube or Facebook or anything with the reselling community.
Right.
And nothing's ever happened to me before, but there was so much going around that, oh, this was happening, this was happening. I just thought, well, I'll just protect myself. And not that I have that whole sky is falling thing going on in my head that, oh my God, something's going to happen. But just in case, I just did it. But,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I mean, I should have been paying more attention, is what it is. I should have been, it's
Yeah.
all my own fault.
Now you know, and so that
Yeah.
was a learning experience for you.
Yeah. After this many years,
You know,
doesn't matter how long you've been selling, you can still be taught.
that's right.
You can still have
That
your
is
hand
very, very
slapped.
true.
And they slapped my hand
Yeah.
hard.
Well, if there's anything we could ever help you with, Nikki, you let us know.
Yeah. You can come ship out my
We got to help
packages.
each other.
You can come ship out my packages for me every day.
I can't. Yeah, I don't think I can do that. Anything I can do from here, you let me know.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, I don't have a problem with my titles. I don't have problems with my description. I don't even have a problem with returns that people don't like my stuff. Honestly,
Right.
I can count on one hand in the last couple of years that I've had a return. But the
Yeah.
returns that I'm talking about that I got dinged on are people that didn't want their item because my handling time was out 30 days and they didn't want to wait for it.
Right.
So those are the returns I'm talking about. But
Yeah.
I really don't have returns that much because I put all measurements in there. I I put absolutely any answer any question that could come up in that listing, and
Right.
I take pictures of absolutely everything, any kind of dings or anything.
Yeah. That's how I do now too.
Yeah,
It's like I mean, they don't really. The buyers don't usually look at the pictures anyways, or
yeah,
the measurements or whatever. But still, I put them in there just to cover my own butt.
yeah. My dog is chasing his tail. That's hilarious.
Huh?
My dog is chasing his tail. That's hilarious.
Oh.
What a dummy.
Yeah, in the chat they're talking about a big YouTuber. He does eBay. Um, he got suspended or something for 7 days
Hmm.
for listing a new NFL item.
Sorry. In the chat they're talking about what I actually ended the call.
Um, a YouTuber, Ronnie Hart.
Mm.
He got suspended for for 7 days for listing a new with tags NFL item.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That's going to be a big blow to his bottom line.
Oh, I know
7
it.
days, he makes a lot of money in a day. That 7 days is going to, ouch.
Right. Oh, no, he got a listing freeze.
Oh, so he can still sell. It's just his.
Yeah.
He
His
just can't
store's still,
list. Oh,
still live. He just can't list for 7 days. Okay. Thank you,
Oh.
Mr. Sadie, for clearing that up. And Black Thistle Tea.
That's good.
Yeah, that does suck.
And that's that's the thing. They don't give you a warning because they can't. I mean, how can they? They can't monitor everybody and say, "Oh, Ronnie, look at you listed this and you're not supposed to."
Yeah.
They don't have time to do that with all the sellers and all the buyers and everything they're dealing with. All they can do is slap us on the hand and say, "Don't do that," and that's all we can do.
Yeah, I think they do like random checks. Like
Yeah.
I got a message saying that one of my listings was gonna get taken down because of it had the word Velcro in it. And it's a Vero thing. You can't use the word Velcro in any of your listings or in any of your item specifics. You can't do it or it'll get taken down. And I think like through the couple of years I've been doing this, like I've seen stuff that I know that I listed, but maybe it got taken down like for that kind of reason, and they just didn't even tell me or something. Because I know I listed it, but it wasn't on there.
Yeah.
So it was just weird, but yeah, they did a Vero thing, like it had to have been 2 weeks ago now, and they took a Velcro. They told me that they were taking a Velcro listing down.
Yeah, they'll
so
automatically take it down.
And then actually people on the show said that they had a Velcro listing come down too. So I think it's like a mass thing to where they just go and look through all the listings.
Yep.
Or just, type in Velcro and see which ones pop up or whatever. And so King Rat says, have you figured out the alternative word for Velcro yet? It's hook and loop. Or thistle zipper.
Thistle zipper.
So
yeah, we have to pay attention to the rules. We have to pay attention because they're always changing. You may think that you know all the rules, but look at poor Ronnie Hart. I mean that's that's something that come up new about the NFL stuff. And there you go. I mean, we have to pay attention to what the rules are and what we can and cannot do, and they're always changing. So you always got to keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
Good lesson to be learned. All of us old, I guess you'd call us old sellers, we're getting our hands slapped. So you new sellers need to pay attention because they're making an example out of us old sellers.
Blackberry Thistle Tea said fusion closure for for alternative word for zipper.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
What is it?
Fusion closure.
Fusion closure. I don't think anybody would know what a fusion closure is.
I don't know either. That's kind of like thistle zipper.
Yeah.
Sticky back.
I think those kind of things are probably something that you're just going to have to hope and pray they're looking at the pictures.
Yeah. Right. Hi, Tina. Haven't seen you in here in a while.
Yeah, it's a bummer when you get your hand slapped, but what else can you do? You know, they got to do it. They got to.
Yeah.
And if the NFL or all
Yeah.
the big companies are coming down on them for stuff, you know, they can be sued and stuff for that kind of stuff. So, you know,
Right.
they have to cover their own butts too.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, you know, it doesn't make sense to me because you would think that once you buy something, it's yours. You can put whatever you want up for it, you know. I mean, like he bought that NFL stuff, he should be able to sell it, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can show a receipt that you bought it, why shouldn't you be able to sell it, you know? But that's the world we live
Yeah.
in, you know. All these big companies are cracking down because there's so many people out there with counterfeits that you know you really can't blame them either,
Yeah.
you know.
Counterfeit or stolen ones.
Mm-hmm. No.
So I mean, I can understand that kind of, but you know, I don't know. Maybe,
It's a bummer.
yeah, maybe they should have something like as far as the number, the manufacturer number.
That's why, you know, everybody says, oh, you should sell these name brands and this and that and another thing because, you know, they sell so much better and they sell for so much money. I stay away from, I don't even look at cell phones or stuff like that because NFL stuff. And first of all, I don't really know my butt from a hole in the ground as far as that goes. But I just don't want to deal with that stuff. I don't want to get nailed for it. I don't want some buyer to get it and fit or, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, I deal with a lot of collectibles and antiques though, which I suppose I could get nailed on that, but
Yeah. I
stay away from
actually have a
anything
couple
like
of
that.
purses. I have a couple of purses that I come across, and so I go online and look up how to tell if they're real or how to tell if they're fake,
Mm-hmm.
and watch the videos, and it's so disheartening
Yeah.
because they're both fake, I think.
Oh, that
But
stinks.
yeah, it sucks.
Well, I have a vintage Coach bag, messenger bag or briefcase or whatever you want to call it, soft briefcase. And it's way old. So chances of it being counterfeit are probably slim to none.
Yeah.
But I still keep saying I still keep it in my pile and say, I don't want to list it, because what if it is, I just don't want to take that chance, One of these
Right.
days maybe I'll get up enough guts to list it after I get my account back above standard. But
Right. Right. You want to make sure that it's good though.
I just worry about it,
Yeah.
And because it's so old, and it's probably not
Right.
counterfeited, but you never know.
Yeah.
I'm on a couple of first sites on groups on YouTube or Facebook, and so they can give. Usually, you can put on there, put the picture on there and put different attributes about the purse, and they should be able. They can usually authenticate it. And then there's things that you can look for, like the stitching. Make sure that it's straight. like pristine. Um, and then the zipper, the zipper hook. Um, I don't know what you call it, zipper puller.
Pool, yeah.
Um, that can usually will have a certain number on it, or you know,
Or name, yeah.
yeah, and so you just kind of have to, kind of be aware of, and then whatever's supposed to be on the inside, like usually Coach has that patch on the inside, and
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm never going to sell a cell phone or something that could be questionable. No. I mean, I will sell stuff that could be questioned, but I mean, I don't base my whole business around name brand and that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, I don't either. I don't either at all.
Like a lot of people, they're like, oh, you got to sell this name brand stuff, be questioned. And a lot of times, if it's something like a computer or something, I would rather like part it out than sell the whole thing, just because you just have less problems.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't know.
if you know that something is real though,
Yeah.
because you bought it at a store or whatever, then you shouldn't have a problem. But
Yeah.
yeah, Mr. Sadie says I'm done with purses unless they're new or someone I know been
Mm-hmm.
burned too many times.
I don't blame you there.
I feel you.
Yeah. There's so many other things that I can sell that I don't have to worry about. Even my brother one time in Michigan asked me if I would sell a diamond ring for him. I said no. Because I don't know the difference between a diamond and a cubic zirconian and I have no clue.
Yeah, if it was diamond, you could have had it appraised, and it doesn't usually cost very much. But I know what you mean, not knowing what you're selling.
Yeah.
I thought she was gonna pop right back in.
She disappear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's hard to, to even venture into anything new because if you don't know everything about it, you could get burned.
Right.
King Rat says Nikki only sells agate rings.
Oh gosh, she will never leave that down, I tell you.
I know it. Did you hear that, Nikki?
What?
King Rat says you only sell agate rings.
I like those agates. My husband just called me. He says, "Where are you?" I says, "I'm at home." He goes, "Why would you go back home?" I said, "Because I had to get my shipping done." So to my pants. He just ripped the butt out of his pants, and now he's walking around, walking around work with a big hole in his pants. Oh boy! Now my shipping is. I have to wait, I guess.
So you're gonna go take him some new pants.
I'm gonna have to take him some new
Yeah,
pants.
there's a bad echo.
Huh?
What'd you say, Valerie?
I said there's a horrible echo.
Probably me.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah.
No. Nope. Good morning, Larry Lafferty. Good morning, Terry.
Hey, what's up? Did you have a good week?
It was okay.
No, that's good. Better than bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely was better than last weekend for me.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. How about you?
It was a good weekend. Well, my husband's got, I think, 3 crates to build, so that's at least we sold some bigger stuff then, But it was good. Yesterday was slower, but Saturday was good. And Friday was pretty good. I mean, yesterday was okay too. It was just slower than Saturday. So that's
When you guys build the crates, do you just like, do those go through the mail?
No, they usually go FedEx or UPS. They're bigger things, If they don't go over 70 pounds, they go FedEx. But if they go over, then they go UPS. We got it's a package ship place. It's not a very good one, but we drop them off there and then they get picked up out of there. In fact, I think my husband's gonna call FedEx and complain to him today because we forgot a FedEx box in our van. So we drove back there, and there's a grocery store there too. So I ran in the grocery store to pick some stuff up. He's sitting in the van. He was so mad because we had a crate go out on Friday. So he watches the FedEx truck comes up. The guy brings it out. He said he takes the crate like this. It's a bigger crate, and he throws it in the truck like this. And then he's got these other. We had like maybe 2 cardboard boxes. There was other stuff to pick up too. He's standing outside the truck and he's shooting them on different shelves like he's playing basketball.
Oh my God.
So mad. But we had a anniversary clock we shipped maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago. No, maybe 4 or 5 because they denied the insurance claim on it because her packing wasn't good enough, And I'm like, well, if that's what he did with that anniversary clock, there ain't no way it's going to hold up being shot like a basketball up into a truck, So I think sometime today he's going to call the main FedEx and give him a little what's for. We'll see what.
That's awful, man.
Oh, he was so mad about that crate. We sold this. It was a wheelchair, and it was like one of these special lightweight wheelchairs where you can, like, if you're handicapped, you could pick it up with one hand. It's super lightweight. Yeah, the guy just takes it. He had made handle holes on the side of the crate and just threw it. He goes, it was like, 3 foot off the ground. He just throws it in the back of the truck. Yeah.
Oh my God.
He goes, if I would have been thinking faster, I would have grabbed my phone and videotaped it. But
yeah.
So I think he's gonna call FedEx today about it.
And Silver Hair Stacker says that we should put the artist formerly known as Velcro. At least we're not calling it Velcro. We're just calling it the artist formerly known as.
Yeah.
Hi, Dusty. Are you awake?
No.
I can tell.
Tristan fixed me coffee, tried to get me up, and I tossed and turned last night. Just like, I don't know, wasn't tired, couldn't sleep. I don't know what the heck it was. So I went to bed at a decent time. We watched The Magnificent Seven. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, that was good.
No.
Is
it good?
For a while, but yeah, it was good. Tristan fell asleep, of course. She's like, I don't think I'm gonna make it through the whole movie. Like, well, that's fine. I'll watch it. And then I went and laid in bed and watched all my stuff on my phone. I just couldn't. Normally, I'll start some show on my phone and I'll make it like part of the way through it and I'll fall asleep. But
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I tossed and turned, but I heard y'all talking about fakes and counterfeits. So
yeah.
Well,
we heard that Ronnie got suspended, or what was it? Listing freeze.
Yeah.
For 7 days because he sold a NFL with new tags.
That sucks. Look, I got listing freeze like that one time for, I think I got 7 days, 5 days or 7 days, but mine was for a duplicate listing because their stupid bulk relister glitched. And I was like, okay, this product, I call you, they were like, this product doesn't sell. Why would I, why would I want to list it twice? Like, seriously, it's a done. It needs to go bye-bye. And I explained to him what happened was, when I used the bulk relister, it would pop up some error, the exception to the operation timeout or something like that. And the lady puts me on hold and comes back. She goes, yeah, I see where we have a lot of documentation that that's a known issue, whatever. I'm like, that's what caused the this is back before their thing actually would catch duplicates, but it still doesn't catch it all the time. As a matter of fact, Eric said the other day he had that happen to him on an auction that he listed. And the guy goes, is there a reason you have this auction twice? And Eric's like, I didn't hit it twice. That was on eBay. But anyhow, back to the other. Yeah, that sucks. But NFL ain't playing. Go to the Amazon seller forum if you're bored. And I mean, I know that's Amazon, but they're just not playing all the way around. Go to the Amazon seller forum and look in just the general selling forum and look at the masses of posts of people getting shut down by the NFL. Whoever the NFL has doing their copyright stuff is being a little overzealous. I mean, there supposedly are people getting stuff taken down for like NFL cards, playing cards, like as in like football cards.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen is somebody's going to turn around and stand up to whoever's doing their trademark copyright infringement bureau, whatever you want to call it, and somebody's going to turn around and probably countersue them or counter whatever. But I don't know what his story was, but it's what I heard Nikki say. It's like, if you're not familiar with stuff, don't list it. I've got it on the screen because I pulled it up. That's why I wanted to jump on. Terminal 99. I don't know if you ever watch him.
Yeah.
He sells a lot of old and collectibles and all that, but he had a video here recently where he had a really gorgeous, and it was a pretty Louis Vuitton bag. The leather looked nice on the side of it, had a little bit of wear and patina to it. It was older. But he sent it off to have it authenticated. He didn't go the route like what Valerie was talking about where you can do it online. I guess he actually sent it or something. But it came back as fake, and he did a video burning it in a fire. And I agree with that. I think that was admirable of him. But what cracks me up though is a couple of the people in the comments said, like one of the guys in his comments goes, or you can be honest and say it's a copy. Okay, do you not understand infringement? You can't put copy or replica of on something that's somebody else's trademark or patent, and that doesn't excuse it. It's still illegal. So
yeah.
But I thought that was pretty cool. He threw it in a fire. He said he used a service called Authenticate First. Oh, no, he didn't send it in. For $10, they will review photos that you email them and give their opinion. So.
And this was on what?
Terminal 99.
No.
It was on a Louis Vuitton kind of briefcasey looking bag. Like a big, long, flat purse. But like I agree with Nick. Yeah. If you're not totally familiar with something and it seems at all iffy, don't do it. I mean, there's a Coach purse sitting around here somewhere, but nobody can remember. It came out of our daughter's room when she was cleaning here recently, but nobody can remember where it came from. Like, because we have some Coach stuff that Tristan's stepmother, my stepmother-in-law, when she passed away, she had a lot of Coach stuff in her closet, like brand new in the Coach, dust covers that still had the Coach store.
Right.
So we know it's real. But we're not sure if it's one of those purses, and so I'm not going to list it. I'm not going to play around with it. Don't let
Right.
greed. Don't let greed get in the way of like common sense. You know,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
everything's worth selling.
That's true. Because you could lose your whole account over it.
There was that video that somebody posted yesterday of that dude that there's somebody that does reseller videos, and he's like, I almost got arrested. And his story was he put an ad on like Craigslist or I don't know, Facebook yard sale or whatever it was, I guess Craigslist, and that he buys like electronic stuff.
Mhm.
And somebody messages him, text message him at like 7:30 in the morning and goes, hey, here's a picture of 7 brand new in the box Beats headphones, you know, like Beats by Dr. Dre headphones. And so he says, well, I write the guy back, and I'm like, just make sure they're not stolen. You know, these aren't stolen or anything like that. And the guy's like, no. The guy tells him, I won a gift card and for $2,000 in a raffle. And so I just went out and bought these. And he's like, well, okay, would you take $500? And the guy's like, sure. Okay. That whole scenario is so full of damn warning signs that it's not even like funny. So basically, then the guy buys the Beats headphones, sells a few online or whatever. And then this girl's like, I want to buy one. Will you meet me at the food court? And he's like, okay, at the mall. He's like, okay. And he gets there and goes to sell it to her. And of course, it's an undercover police sting operation because come to find out, they all got stolen from a Verizon store. Some guy did a smash and grab through the front window and stole them all. So if something sounds too good to be true, and I'm not talking about like buying a home run item at a yard sale where you go, oh my gosh, I bet they don't know that that's worth $100 and you buy it for $1. That's totally
right.
But like the whole something really smells hinky, don't get greedy. I mean, I would have never touched the Beats in the first place. Something about that just smells to holy hell, you know.
Get it?
Yeah.
I had a guy a few years ago who's a good friend of mine, and he was getting iPods. This is about 4 years ago, probably 4 or 5 years ago at Christmas time. He was getting all kinds of brand new in the box iPhones, iPods, stuff like that, and he claimed that he had a friend that worked on the Arsenal here that, you know, was getting their open box return stuff really cheap. The prices he wanted on stuff, and I know that this friend of mine, I mean, friend or more business acquaintance, I won't say too much. He's not a bad guy, but there's always been something about him that didn't quite sit right with me. We kind of did business, but I was careful on what, and I just wouldn't buy any of it. And he's like, can't believe it. And I could have made some money. I mean, it was like an iPhone at the time, like 4 years ago, like brand new in the box or brand open box for like $200. And I could have turned around and sold it for $500 on eBay and sold it overnight. But something just didn't sit right. The whole, these are store returns from the, you know, no, they would have sent them back to the manufacturer. He's like, no, the guy I get him from is legit, man. He's actually an engineer. You know, he just stops by the little PX store every day when he leaves the base and has a, you know, a friend that's a manager of the electron. And I'm like, no, this just,
Yeah.
So I passed up, and I probably could have made thousands of dollars, but it's just not worth it, you know?
Right. No, and you could just use your head. Just use your head a little bit. And, you know, think about it for a minute.
Jennifer, I agree with you. Yeah, but my first thought, you know, hearing that whole story was like, okay, I'm not trying to, but you're a dumbass for buying that. Like, seriously, I won a $2,000 gift card in a raffle. So rather than sell the gift card, of course, I want to go buy some Beats and then sell the Beats for like a fourth of what I paid for everything. Like, that doesn't just make little warning signals go beep, 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 beep. You know?
Yeah.
sometimes people let greed overcome their common sense. I had a friend locally that was getting pallets of liquidation and stuff like that from a wholesale source, and he was wanting to get his feet wet into this a couple of years ago into Amazon. And I kept telling him, I said, man, you don't send that stuff in. That right there is risky. That right there is risky. And he just greed everything that he'd get. And he did eBay as well. So the stuff that was like maybe the expiration dates were close or whatever that he could have thrown over on eBay and been fine with, but he'd still send it all into Amazon. Next thing I know, he's like, man, I'm suspended. And I'm like, I tried to tell you that was coming. You know, I don't really feel bad. What do I do? And I was like, I don't know. You know, no, at this point, no, I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Because he was sending fake stuff in?
No, but he was sending in, he'd get liquidation pallets and like the box would be open. It was obvious the item had been used, and he would kind of make it all nice and neat and look like new and put it back in the package. Things like that. Or go, oh, this will qualify as new. Or the expiration date would be really, really close. And, you know, Amazon requires you to have X amount of days out on expiration dates. It's pretty, you know, pretty far out. And he'd send it in anyhow. And I'm like, dude, no. Or covered up, you know, covered up with the Amazon sticker you put on it where they couldn't see the expiration. I'm like, dude, you're getting greedy and stupid. You know, common sense just flew out the window and stupid came in the door. You know, like, don't let your greed overcome your common sense.
Sherry said that she's headed to the post office. Have a good one, y'all. And don't take any wood nickels. Do I have an echo?
Yeah,
No.
you're echoing a little bit.
No.
Hello, testes? Testes.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, sure.
Testes.
I think we're good.
I don't hear it now, but it was earlier right before I came on.
I don't know.
So your husband has to crate 3 things today?
Yep.
I bet he's loving you.
Well, it's money, right? Should love. Get paid to do it, so they ain't too bad. One of them's a real stupid table thing that he's got to finish up that he started, and then the other 2 things are these they're screw jacks. They're real big, heavy duty ones. They probably weigh like 50 pounds a piece or something. They call them railroad jacks. They're like house jacks. You know, they screw out. They're like big bottle jacks. They're like
The
that.
bottle jack, right?
They're real huge ones.
This is the time of the month we like to call the eBay fee scramble.
Oh yeah, mine are due in about 3 days too. Like, we'll take that offer. Like, I'm going through my email right now, and it's like, that's a little low, but yeah, I'll take that. The eBay fees.
I just took an offer on something I just listed like 30 minutes ago.
Cool.
That's great.
Well, maybe all that listing's paying off now.
Yeah,
So
I hope so.
You're at least selling it. You know, I hate it when you're listing and it's going slow. You're like, why am I doing all the
Yeah.
work?
Yeah, maybe it's going to pick up. Yeah.
So that's
I woke up
that's
at, like-
interesting. That sorry.
Oh, it's all right. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's interesting. If that item y'all were referring to was NFL related, then that means that they're also cracking down. I don't know what's going on. You know, I think that just manufacturers, the license holders, everything else are really, really just kind of over all the Chinese counterfeits. They're over all the, you know, they had a big problem with that with the merch by Amazon. You know, people not understanding copyright law.
Well, I watched that show where he talked about that, and he said something in passing, and I might not be exactly right, but he said something like, in the listing, it must have said on field worn. And he goes, well, that's what it said on the tag. So I was kind of wondering if, like, maybe eBay thought he was alluding, like it was, you know, one that was worn by an actual player or something. Because I mean, I sell NFL jerseys. I've never had anything. I mean, I don't want to get in trouble for it, but I've never had anything pulled like that. You know, because you'll run into like Reebok jersey or starter jerseys, and I've never had a problem. And I'd have to rewatch the video because sometimes I don't listen real close. But I thought he said, well, it said on the tag on field worn, and it kind of me and my husband said, I wonder if it tripped it, like it alluded to like it was worn by a player or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I never looked into their policy on
He said that's the way
NFL.
it was worded.
Yeah, because he said that's what it said on the tag.
No, he said, but they got pulled. The way it
Oh
was
yeah.
worded.
Oh, and he did say it got pulled because of the way it was worded in his listing title.
Oh.
So I don't know if it was necessary just because there's something about his title or something that must not have been kosher. Which, geez,
I think
thing where they've pulled. I had a Monster Energy hat, which Monster Energy is really fussy that it has to be an authentic Monster hat to resell it used. I had one that was
Right.
I didn't know it. They pulled it off. They gave me a little bit of a naughty letter, but I've never been suspended, like a listing suspension or anything for anything like that. Unless you're only allowed so many of those. I don't know. Maybe he's had some other ones, like infractions.
I think typically
Richard Kavanaugh says waiting for NASCAR. That's another one that's gonna, I think, start doing it.
I think typically it's.
Yeah.
I may be wrong on this, but I think typically with eBay, it's slap on the wrist and warning letter, followed by the like 5 or 7 day suspension. Although with that duplicate listing I had, that wasn't warning. I've never had one before. I remember, unless it had been like years ago and I just forgot about it or whatever. But they took something of mine down recently, and they were really cool. I can't even remember what it was. Oh, it was those gun magazine, Ruger magazines, because they were over 10 bullets, and you can't have 10 round stuff in like 5 or 7 different states or whatever. And they called me on it, and the guy was like, well, I see this is your first infraction, that category, not a biggie. We just want to let you know why we took it down. And I was like, I swear to you, I went and read the regulations, and I did go read the regulations. I just didn't expand the one paragraph to make that, because they got those stupid paragraphs in the policy stuff, and you have to click it to make it bigger to read it. And I while he was on the phone, I read it, and I was like, actually, I see it right here, and I missed it. Sorry, I am really sorry. And he's like, not a big deal. We're not going to do anything. Just want to let you know why we took the listing down. I was like, okay.
So it was magazines showing the.
No, it was the magazine's the clip that holds your bullet.
It
Oh,
was,
the mag. Oh,
yeah, like
the magazine.
but
Yeah.
it was they held over 10 rounds, I think, and there's like 7 or 10 states where that's considered a high capacity magazine, and you can't have that because, heaven forbid, we should protect ourselves. I can go down. I can go down that rabbit hole now. No, I'm kidding. But not on y'all's show. But and somebody said, I said, well, wait a minute, I see a couple of them on there. I was saying that to a friend of mine, and it was like, yeah, they're probably getting away with it by not saying. And then I looked, and surely enough, that's what they were doing. They weren't saying how many rounds. They were just listing the higher ones. And then somebody said to me, they said, well, you could just relist them and do it. And I'm like, okay, this is where common sense and greed, why would I go back and list them again and try to be halfway shady and risk my account over it? When I've already been slapped on the hand, eBay ain't gonna play if I turn around and relist those and just take the word 10 round out of the title. They're not gonna. So, I mean, yeah, and I paid like $5 a piece for them, and I bought 50. I mean, so I had $250, and I'm like, hey, not a big deal. I'll put them on, a different website that allows the sale of stuff like that.
Yeah.
I had
I
that
don't think
happen with a
anybody
belt.
wants.
Sorry.
I don't think anybody wants to do it to get in. Try and get in trouble or try to get away with it.
Right.
I don't think anybody really. Unless they just are stupid. But I don't think anybody does it just to try and get away with it or whatever. If they're a good reseller, they will play by the rules. you know.
And I think inherently
Terry,
all
go ahead.
resellers are good, but I think there's sometimes that people let common sense kind of fly out the door in search of the almighty dollar, you know. I mean, I've seen it before, and it seems innocent, but I've heard people say things like, "Well, I don't know if it's authentic or not," but you know, I'll just throw it on eBay. Well, if you don't know, and there's a question of something might be fake, I mean, okay, technically, I mean, ignorance is not bliss, you know, when it comes to the law. Let's just look at the law. If you're a guy at a flea market knowingly selling, what was it somebody was saying a minute ago, counterfeit NASCAR stuff or counterfeit Nike or Reebok or whatever, that's just as guilty as the guy that unknowingly puts a fake handbag or a fake whatever on eBay. I mean, from the law standpoint, you'd probably have a little better defense being a reseller. Maybe if he went to court, you might have an easier time getting out of it, but that's still selling something that's illegal. It's no different, you know? Yeah. And I think people just kind of fly through a lot of times. We all tend to kind of, oh, I'm a reseller. It's just a used good that I picked up. I mean, that doesn't, like that guy in that video, and I'm not picking on him. He got really lucky. The police sting, according to his story, the police looked at his phone, saw where he bought them, and said, okay, you're okay, you're okay. I mean, they could have nailed him for, you know, fencing stolen goods. I mean, he could have gone to jail. He got lucky.
They don't usually let you off if you buy stolen stuff. That's what I thought was weird, because they usually will nail you for something, not just let you go, but they usually will nail you something, because that's ignorance, and they will get you for it, because you should know better than to know that you're going to buy all these things, whatever they were, Beats headphones for $500. You should know better than that.
Exactly. Yeah. Nikki took herself off mute just for that one. She's like, by God, I got it. She's laughing.
Let me get in on this one.
I don't know. I just don't get sloppy and careless because you see dollar signs, you know.
My brother went to jail for that one time because he said, well, I didn't know it was stolen. And they're like, you should know better. You should know that you're not going to buy these motorcycle parts for $50 or whatever it was. And they're like, you know they were stolen, you know. And he did get nailed. So it happens. And as far as getting stuff taken down, I've had stuff taken down before. And they've books that I did. And because I'm in there.
You're cutting out real bad. We can't even hear you.
Oh, okay.
All I heard you say was Subway. On my way to Subway.
Yeah, I think that's
Jennifer says
you have to be, you know, aware of what you've got. The possibility that, you know, it's fake or it's not going to be allowed on eBay. You know, go to the policies and procedures and look through that, and just, you know, do your research. If you think that, you know, that it's fake, that there is a possibility of it being fake, then don't put it on. You know, if you think that, you know, there's a possibility that there's a slim chance that maybe it's fake, but you know, you've done your research and you've looked through it, I wouldn't even put it on eBay. I'd put it on a Facebook site or something, you know. But
when in doubt, throw it out.
That's right. I mean, you just,
I don't even like
that's my policy in my refrigerator.
Sniff it. If it don't smell good, taste it. If you're still questionable about it, then you're like, dang, we went grocery shopping yesterday. I come home, I'm like, I found ham lunch meat in the back of their fridge, and I'm like, okay, that sucks, because I mean, it wasn't much. It was one of those tubs of, like, you know, Oscar Mayer brand or whatever comes in a little tub. It was like probably that full, and I was like, but that kills me to throw that away. I was like, we can scrape the mold off the top, you know.
Yuck.
Dang it.
I knew somebody that did that with meat out of the freezer that was like really old and maybe something happened and then they were in the hospital for 3 days. So I don't think that kind of stuff.
Not worth it.
It got thrown out.
Yeah, Jennifer says there's a lady in an auction used to go to that sells stolen stuff and people love her. I remember her grab bags being the best. She had a lot of Yankee Candle stuff in them. I'm just terrible for saying that.
And that's not a very bright thief either. If you're gonna steal a Yankee Candle, they're like what, $24.99, $29.99 in the store, and you're gonna get $10 on the secondary market for it. That's a big ass item to be stealing and only get $10 for it. I'm just saying, if I'm gonna load down a purse full of stuff, it's at least gonna be like really small, really lightweight, really high dollar, not a big ass glass candle.
Right.
Ooh, look at Nikki. She looks like the Swamp Thing.
What the hell is going on?
Looks like her van has been taken over by flowers.
Oh, she said it was a small candle. Yeah, but still, that's a lot of weight by the time those, unless she was getting the votives that aren't in glass. I guess maybe. Yankee Candle has just votives, don't they? I don't know. It's just times are changing. You've seen all the suspensions on, like I said, even if you don't sell on Amazon, reading the Amazon seller forums is not a bad idea because it kind of keeps you abreast of what companies are doing what to who. NFL is cracking down big time. All these companies are cracking down. Look at all the brands that they gated on Amazon that you can't sell anymore unless you pay to play or whatever. They're done, and kind of rightfully so. If I owned a brand, I'd be probably cracking down on it too. People jumped into merch and said, I'm going to make T-shirts and I'm just going to put whatever on them with no thought of, you can't just take somebody's image, even if you don't use the words, even if you don't put that it was, I don't have any brand name stuff, you can't put a picture of an iPhone on a shirt and just say, well, I didn't use the word come on. If you're going to sell something or make something, do your research, learn what copyright protection and infringement and all that stuff is. But I think these companies are getting tired of it. They're tired of having their stuff knocked off.
Yeah.
And not just by the Chinese. I think the Americans are guilty of it too. People jumping into a lot of reselling that they really don't know anything about, and the companies are rightfully getting tired of it, and so they're fighting back. Are they a little overzealous? Yeah, big time. But I don't know.
Oh, you want to do something that burns my biscuits a little bit?
Burns my biscuits.
Yeah, Star Wars stuff. My son's really into Star Wars, so we bought, and I knew it was knockoff when I bought it. It makes me mad. You can buy this knockoff Star Wars stuff. It comes out of China, and you know how Disney is about their name. Disney owns Star Wars, and Star Wars. You'd think eBay would bust down on these Chinese sellers that are selling this. It's obviously knocked off BB-8s and stuff like that. Now, if I did that, if I went and took that BB-8 and put it on eBay, I would probably get suspended or the listing pulled or whatever, but they let the Chinese sellers keep these counterfeits on. So anyway, that's just my opinion.
No, it is frustrating, and especially like you said, as a buyer, because you don't know what you're getting when you order it, and then you get, Larry Lafferty asked, how would you research an item you have no idea what it is? And I think Larry had asked that on that video we did the other night with all the guys where Eric had the barber pole. Larry, I never got around to answering your question on that, but it was a red, white, and blue barber pole, but made out of wood. And Eric was like, I didn't know what it was. And for something like that, I would have either gone to Google or I would have gone to eBay and I would have put in red, white, blue, striped wooden pole, and then look at like Google Images and see what comes up. Send a picture to a friend. I'm fortunate enough to have all these people here that like know everything about everything, and somebody will find something.
Sometimes you can take a picture of it and put it on Google image search too.
Yeah, you do the reverse Google image search. But like right now, when I did a red, white, and blue wooden poll on Google Images, I mean, 9 out of the 10 items on the first page on Google Images on the tab, then you click over to the tab where it says images. 9 out of the 10 items are barber poles. And I would have been like, if I had that item, I would have been like, okay, that's a barber pole.
Like,
You're cutting out real bad, Nikki.
I couldn't even hear her catch words she said. I mean, here's an item I was just cleaning off my desk while I'm sitting here. Here's an item that I have no idea what it is. So I'll hold it up on a show or I'll send a picture to a friend. I'm thinking it has something to do with a camera. It says the only word on it is Japan. It folds down really nice and neat. I'm thinking it has some kind of viewfinder thing for an old camera. And it folds out just like that. And it's got a magnifier there, nothing there, nothing there. I showed it to Eric. Eric's like, that's interesting. But once it folds back down in, it folds back in pretty square and nice and compact. The only word on it is Japan. So for that, I'll go metal, Japan, probably viewfinder. And I'll glance through some Google Images and I'll glance through some stuff and I'll see if I can find anything that looks like it. Does anybody know what that is, by the way?
Jim Cooncat said, I think it has something to do with maps.
Ooh.
That's kind of what I was thinking too, some like the magnifier.
So, you know what? Maybe. Wait a minute. Oh.
He said, keep unfolding, make it into a stand.
Wait a minute. And that goes there. And that goes like that. Look at Jim. See, that's what I'm talking about. You just ask people. I think it is. Which would explain. That's it. Look. And you know what it is? It's one of those things you take outside when you're a kid and you find the ants and you put it over the ants and you aim the sun and then you burn the ants.
Yep. Fire starter.
So it's a map. Maybe map magnifier, map vintage, map magnifier.
King Rat said it's a loo.
There's like a box.
No, I don't think it's a loo. I mean, you could use it as a loo for stuff.
He said it's used to register film or set register in the printing trade.
Could be. I mean, there would be a reason it would have those markings on there. That would definitely be to line something up. So the film thing would make sense. The map thing would make sense.
Right.
See, there's just so many.
Right.
We have such a great community of. I just used a buzz.
World War II magnifier.
We have such a great reselling community. Oh,
Yes, we do.
All right, I found something on WorthPoint that says rare vintage World War II brass folding map magnifier by Slight and Helmuth. So there's a slightly different, but exactly the same to where it would fold and go in your pocket or whatever for your uniform. Look at y'all. Y'all are awesome.
Very cool.
Now, I just take it off my desk and put it in the don't feel like looking at it right now pile.
How was your weekend, Destiny?
Really, really, really good. Like, really, but it's because I ran a few auctions.
Yeah.
Like, and this is an example of of following your own rule. It was an experiment. I was talking to Eric and Jason about it last night. It was an experiment. Like, if you know what you're doing is working good for you, yeah, listen to what other people say, maybe branch out a little bit. but stick to your tried and true.
Right.
And I knew that Jason had a lot of really, really, really good luck with doing auction style, but Jason's selling really weird industrial parts to specific machines that are popular with those brands are popular, but there's not a huge, there's kind of a cult following, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like you have a handful of people, not as it's, I don't know how to say. He has really rare items, more obscure items, not rare, but definitely obscure. And so Jason's format of doing the auctions when he gets his stuff makes sense and it works. So I decided on Tuesday, or maybe no, it was last Sunday, to run some 7-day auctions on about a dozen items that I had a higher amount of watchers. I ended them, and then on Sunday I changed them over to auction. I was not impressed. I got some decent sales out of it. I did $625 yesterday, which is freaking awesome. But some of those, about probably 250 of that, 300, probably 300 of that was these items that went to auction that didn't bring really what they were worth. So I waited 7 days for these items to be tied up to get about half of what their actual value was. And no, probably 2/3. I started, like, if I felt like it was worth $100, I started at $49.99. You know? And so for me, what it proved was, okay, what I'm doing works, which is buy it now for the type of stuff that I sell. Buy it now with best offer. I'm not gonna. That's my last auction. And about 2 times a year, I do auctions and I try it and I say, you know, and every time I end up saying exactly what I'm saying now. Why did I do that? I'll never do another auction again. You know. So.
Yeah. Usually, for me, auctions are kind of like the last resort. You know, I have quite a few of them, but you know, if they've been on for a while, then I'll put them on auction and just kind of blow them out, get them out of there, and
It's just, I don't know. They don't work for the stuff I sell. Those same items I could have put on, I could have just lowered. I had some higher buy it nows. I could have lowered the buy it now on them, stuck them out there, run my promoted listing, promotions, all that stuff like I normally do, markdown manager. And I could have probably sold those same items in 3 days rather than waiting an entire week. And I probably could have got more money than what I did through the auction. So it wasn't really, I did it also as an experiment to see if that would drive other activity to my store. I don't know if it did or didn't. I mean, I had a good overall week. Overall, my sales were good. But I don't know. We're getting into tax return time. You know, there's that theory. People have a little more money, might spend a little more frivolously. I mean, I don't know if I would have had a good week or not. I don't know. You know, without those. So I think in the future, I'm just going to stick to what's working for me, which is buy it now with best offer, majority of the higher dollar items. But I can't complain. Saturday sucked, but Sunday was really good.
Yeah. Well, that's
Thursday,
good.
Friday were good. I mean, my graph goes like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you know.
Funny how that works.
I'm old fashioned. I still do the auctions.
You do what?
I still do the auctions. I'm old fashioned.
Do you
Well,
really?
I do the auctions on like one-off stuff, vintage stuff.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah.
if I have an item and I think it's worth $100, I start the auctions $99.99, and then I see if it gets bid up from there. And then if it doesn't, that it'll go on buy it now for whatever. I think
Well, that's exactly what Jason does, but you probably do it on stuff that's very similar. I don't think auctions work for everything. I really don't.
They don't. And I put buy it nows, like all these new parts and stuff. Those are all buy it nows.
Right.
So if it's new stuff or common stuff, I put it buy it now.
I think, Eric, what was it you were saying last night? You really have to have something that's special in order to have a successful auction.
Special and desirable. Something that people are willing to
wait.
that would probably do a buy it now, but if you give them a chance at auction, you're going to get more than 1 or 2 people going at it. And then you got to wait and see. And it doesn't always work.
See, like, I'll give you an example. I had a new old stock Stewart Warner alternator gauge. And when I did because I checked the solds, and the solds are in that $50 to $80 range. And I think I started mine at, let's say $60. I don't remember. And for whatever reason, mine was a little weirder, and it sold for $100.50. But I wouldn't have known that because I really didn't have the exact comparable. I had very similar ones that sold for $80. So for me, I just would rather do it to test the water on something like that. Because a lot of times on that stuff, it will get bid up.
As long as you're happy with the starting price, one bid wins it, then you really can't go wrong with it.
We always start at what
We don't do that.
we don't do anything cheap on that, you know.
You know, I have started a few auctions at 99 cents and $9.99 because I knew that they would be a couple $100 at least, and
Yeah.
you know, and if they'd sold for 99 cents, it would have been whatever it was. I mean, I didn't have even that much into it, but I sold a little Iowa personal cassette recorder that didn't work. I started at a 99-cent auction because it was a desirable model, and it sold for $206.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would sell for that much because it wasn't in working condition. It was all corroded and everything, but people wanted it for just the look.
Well, I mean, if you're listing, I've always used these two as an example. I mean, if you're listing an iPhone that's a newer iPhone, let's just use an iPhone as an example, or I've got a little bag of this is stuff that I got to put up, lot of sterling silver scrap jewelry, and you start either one of those at 99 cents, you're going to end up pretty much where, because those are desirable commodities.
Yep.
You know, those are items that people people resell them a lot. They're not going to let them go for next to nothing. The market is not going to let that item go sit there at 99 cents. It's not going to be a sleeper. You're going to get attention on it. People are going to buy it, bid it up. But I think that, or like the example she gave, see that example, that Stewart, whatever it was, gauge thing. I mean, that's an example. That's very similar to what Jason sells. That's the similar type of item. It's a specialized tool for whatever. I think auctions do work for stuff like that. But I think the majority of other items, I just think auctions suck. Your average run-of-the-mill stuff that people can get from any other seller, why would people wait around for an auction when they can go buy it from somebody else? And I hear people say, well, they're waiting around on the bargain, and I'd agree and disagree. I think they're only going to wait around if it's something they can't get from somebody else. That's my theory on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's got to be fairly rare and fairly desirable, and and again, you got to have more than one buyer out there. I mean, I've been trying to sell some show and hut circus stuff that is super rare, but I can't find any buyers for it because it's so rare. I mean, it's the right person's got to come along. So even at auction, I'm not getting any bids because there's not a buyer out there for it right now.
Hey, they helped me figure out my thing. Were you listening? That thing that we both went, huh? What is it? I think I showed it. I think it was you. It's a map magnifier.
Oh.
You fold it out that way, which would explain why it has little tick marks around there, and then you fold that down. It's a map magnifier. I was thinking viewfinder at the time I pulled it out. Remember, I was going through this box of stuff real fast, but I was thinking like camera. I had a viewfinder part, right?
Did you find some comps for it?
No, then I got sidetracked. I mean, there was one on Worth Point, but it was brass and it was really cool, and it had a name brand that was sold for $44. Brass. Yeah, Thrift Daddy said I can testify to the sterling scrap. Sterling scrap is going to end up at usually, sometimes if it's decent wear, not not just scrap. Like this has some few wearable pieces and stuff in it. It's going to end up at somewhere, give or take, typically 10% within 10% of what actual scrap value is. But even then, I'm not a fan of waiting around on an auction. If I have a lot of scrap, I will figure out what the scrap value is, use a scrap metal calculator, and if it's $138 worth of scrap sterling or gold or whatever, I'm going to price it at $137.99, buy it now or best offer, and expect to take about 5 or 10% off, or it's about 5 or 10% lower than that. Sometimes full price, but the exception being if it's not scrap. If it's Tiffany, or if it's a bunch of silverware that's of a name brand.
Yeah, there's some
that stuff will bring a premium, but
amazing how much the stuff goes for.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Thrift Day said 90% of melt, buy it now or best offer, works best, free shipping. Or, and that's one of those you could probably put shipping and roll it into the price, but I mean, they're going to roll it into the price for you when they make their offer. So why not just make the math easier on your buyer? It's the same money in your pocket either way.
Yeah, I've got some gold scrap to list. It's just some pin nibs. I don't think they're worth a whole lot, as pin nibs, but you never know. But it's like $40 for the gold, so I'll probably put it up for like a $40 best offer. See what I get.
What are they pens? Like fountain nib? Are you talking about?
Yep.
Some of those that I know, the only reason I know is because I have a friend that's selling them. I mean, like if they're like some that are marked like Parker's, he's doing like 30, 40 a piece on them.
Yeah, I found some in one of these boxes, or I bought this at an auction lot just this weekend.
Oh.
And there was probably 100 pin nibs in there, and I bought it because it said there were some gold ones in there, and I found 5 gold ones. It's $7 for the lot, so the gold's worth about $40. But in doing research on some of the nibs, somebody sold a lot of like 40 or 50 of this one specific type, and they got over $200 for it. So, and I've got like 40 of them.
I have a local person I know that's doing them right now, and like even like he must have had some broke ones. He got like the top of the Parker pen. I mean, he's been selling those for like $30, $40 a snap.
Yeah, I don't have any Parkers. I've just got I got off-brand ones, but I mean they're still fairly desirable. So
a nib usually weighs a couple grams. Thrift Daddy was asking how much a nib weighs.
Not even that much. I've got 5 14-karat nibs, and altogether they weigh 2 grams.
Or is it less than that? That's one of those things, though, that I think gets overlooked. I mean, obviously, if you find fountain pens, if you find a fountain pen at a yard sale and it's $1, freaking just buy it. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, because I mean, the fountain pens themselves can be worth quite a bit, and then the nibs itself. If you find an 18-karat, because you see a lot of these in 18-karat as well, but those are usually attached to some of the higher-end Waterman pens and things like that, and those pens are usually $70, $80 by themselves, sometimes as much as a couple hundred. So.
But I think that's an area that gets. I mean, well, first of all, people really don't find fountain pens, but yeah, definitely check your nibs on your fountain pens and if it's attached to the fountain pen, leave it attached to the fountain pen. Don't try to pull it off and get your $30 worth of gold out of it, because you'll probably sell the pen intact for a whole lot more.
Yeah, you'll make more on the pen with a gold nib. I sold the Waterman for like $90 within an hour of listing it. So.
Nice.
Yeah, it was kind of, and I've got some fountain pens, so I might actually put some nibs with fountain pens and sell them separately. Because the ones I have don't have anything on them.
There's Jim Bennett. Hey Jim, what'd you do? Get up early and eat some biscuits and hash brown?
Yeah, right. I woke up and cooked everything I had, so I had it all ready to go for this week.
So what's going on this week?
I am doing a not no carb, but low carb diet to try to help with my blood sugar and weight issues. Because if you couldn't tell, I'm fat as shit.
So Jim messages this morning. He's like, "So I'm doing no pasta, no bread, no potatoes. Does anybody want to join me?" And I said, "Sure, I will. Send all of them to me." I would probably do that with. I mean,
that's so messed up.
Yeah, I could probably, but I don't eat a lot of that stuff, though. I mean, but yeah, I'll probably do it with you. That helps.
Cool. I just need somebody to yell at me when they see me eating a cheeseburger.
I could do that.
Nice. Thank you.
We'll be your support group here.
Perfect.
You don't need that cheeseburger. Go give it to that homeless guy.
So what do you get? Does this mean like salads and like everybody's got a Subway sandwich and Jim's just sitting there eating the meat off the sub?
Yeah.
You're gonna be one of those like
means.
sad lunches.
Pretty much. I'll be all right.
You know,
I did
one
that
thing that's
diet.
really good, and it's low. I believe I want to say it's low carb, but one thing that I started doing, and a lot of people don't like it, but like hot dogs, I usually
Uh-huh.
won't eat the buns,
Right.
and hamburgers too. I'll usually just eat the meat. And then I also made a lot of the lettuce wraps.
Mm-hmm.
So I just get, a leaf of lettuce and put some meat in it and wrap it up, and
Those are really good if you like tuna.
I was
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be experimenting a lot with all that kind of happy horse shit.
Yeah.
So we went grocery shopping yesterday, and we're trying to do better. And we went to Aldi because all their like fruits and vegetables are cheap. Like that avocados for 49 cents, stuff like that. But we usually Tristan will do breakfast sandwiches in the morning, like homemade egg McMuffin, which we would buy wheat, the wheat egg, the muffin thingies, English muffins.
Yeah.
We'd buy wheat, but they don't have wheat at Aldi's, and I'm too cheap to go to like some normal store and pay for wheat. So whatever. I mean, that's not really enough to probably kill us anyhow. Like I said, we don't eat a whole lot of bread, but I was trying to find an alternative for the Canadian bacon that we've been getting, which was we were buying like the little local grocery. It was like $2.99 for 16 slices, and I swear to you, it wasn't even like a 4-ounce pack. So they had this turkey ham. They had all these it was like $2.29 a pound. It was one of those little like chub things, as I call it. It was just a big thing of processed whatever. Yeah, the sodium was a little bit higher on it, but it was turkey ham, and it had like 30 calories per ounce, which is really, really low for meat.
Mm-hmm.
So we bought that, and then I got her Pampered Chef. She got one of those Pampered Chef that's like the cheese grater and mandolin and all that. You can swap the blades out, like big plastic things, and she uses that thing religiously. And it's got a mandolin blade on it. So I took the big chunk thing when we got home and got the cutting board out, and I just went, down the mandolin and sliced it all. So, but we were in, Aldi has some name brand stuff too. Like they had Nathan's, big old packs of Nathan's hot dogs. And I was like, ooh, we could get those. Kristen's like, I said, you'd be tempted to eat them? She's like, I'd eat every single one of them. I'm like, okay, never mind. I said, they have turkey hot dogs. She's like, I would rather have no hot dogs. I was like, we don't eat. I mean, like, she cooked a couple of, this is going to sound really gross, but this is just the way I eat. Like, she did 2 chickens in her new roaster thing, which she loves. And we did Brussels sprouts. We did Brussels sprouts, which I cut those in half, and I do a little olive oil, very little, on the pan on some foil so they don't stick. I usually drizzle over the top, but I was lazy. And then I season them, and I put them in the oven, and I bake them for like 350. You can put them under the broiler, and it'll actually make them crispy, but I was too lazy to do that either. So we had Brussels sprouts, and then I pulled some meat off the chicken. I wrapped it in a flour tortilla. I know flour tortillas are probably bad for me, but I wanted a sandwich, and it's probably better than bread. And then I cut up one of those avocados and put some avocado slices, and I put some sriracha sauce. So, I mean, I eat healthier. Like, I made a wrap. Like, I don't put mayonnaise on a lot of stuff. I don't do... I don't know. The problem is I just have, like, I waited till 9 o'clock at night to eat all that, too. I have a really bad eating patterns, not as much as, like, what I eat.
Yeah. I eat late at night too, but I try to eat like I'm trying to eat like fruit. Like last night I had like half a bag of grapes. That's another one of my issues. Like if I have grapes, I'm gonna eat like the whole bag. Or like
Yeah.
and like it's
I
healthy.
do that too. Like I'm a snacker.
It's healthy, but not when you're eating a whole bag of it. Like I
Right.
probably shot my blood sugar up like crazy.
Make sure you drink a complete glass of water before you have any meal.
Yeah.
Big old full glass of water.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, like my late night go to, I'm lactose intolerant, so like my late night go to will be like I'll use almond milk or coconut milk. But I'll eat like a bowl of granola cereal, and I'll put like I love honey, and we get like local honey, so I'll just be like honey over the top of it, which is like, and that's my, and that's still not good to eat at like 10 o'clock at night when you're watching TV. But like I don't eat candy bars. I mean, candy bars aren't a weakness. Fast food is. I stopped and got where I went to the auction Saturday night. Tristan was going to have done the chickens, but she wasn't feeling good, and she knew I wasn't going to be there, so there wasn't any sense in doing them that night. And she's like, "Do you mind stopping by McDonald's and get Gabe and I some food?" And Gabe, our son's skinny as a rail, so he could eat like whatever he wanted to. But so he got a Big Mac meal, and then I was like, "What do you want?" She said, "Give me a Big Mac Junior, and I need a small Coke. I need some caffeine." And so I got her the meal with the fries or whatever, but. But was I tempted? Yeah, but I didn't, but I skipped it, And if I'm stuck in a situation where we're out and I have to eat McDonald's or something, I'll normally get like their grilled chicken wrap, but have them leave off the ranch and leave off that orange stuff that they call cheese. So it'll be just like chicken and lettuce and a tortilla,
Yeah.
That is not real cheese. I'm going to tell you right now. I don't know what the hell it is. It's not even like Velveeta good. We bought turkey meatballs yesterday at Aldi. Well, I guess there goes the pasta part of it. I may not be able to do your challenge this week. But like one night we'll have, that and turkey, and then we'll do like if we fix spaghetti or something like that, we won't put the sauce on it, so each person can get however much sauce they want. You just pour your own on. Nicky's. Oh, sorry, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about eating like today I had sausage, bacon, and eggs. Like there's no carbs in it, but it's not exactly healthy for my heart, let's say,
No, the sausage and bacon together was probably overkill, but
well, I can't sit there and eat 2 eggs because then I'll want 2 more, and then I'll want this and that. So I just, I'm trying to protein it up, and if my heart explodes, then my heart explodes, but at least my sugar is low.
I lost like $45. 45 pounds on that diet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years, but about 10 actually.
Yeah.
Why do I have an echo?
It's probably me again.
Maybe. Yes, it's. Dang it. So yeah, I was on the. It's not no carb, so you could have like, I would go and get you some of those. They're like whole grain tortilla shells. They're not the best, but they're
out bread.
Yeah.
But it's close. It's close to like a flour tortilla, and you can make wraps and stuff with it. Eat something.
Some of those are better.
I'm like a super carb addict.
Uh-huh.
So
some of the brands are better.
I know exactly what you're going through.
Horrible.
The what?
I mean,
What'd you say, Dusty?
I said some of the brands are better than others with the wheat, but some of them are horrible though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to get this one. They were pretty thin, and but they worked really good for wraps and stuff. And they say right on the front that it's something like either 14 or 8 grams of carbs per tortilla.
Yeah.
So, which is pretty good. And I basically tried to do less than 50 grams a day.
Right.
And I mean, because you're even going to have carbs in some of the vegetables that you eat.
Yeah.
There's like, maybe one, on cheese, there's sometimes 1 or 2.
Yep.
On your more sugary fruits and stuff like that, there's, a couple here and there. So you're going to have a couple.
Right.
Shoot for less, right at first, I would shoot for less than 100. Or if you just want to start restricting yourself right away, do less than 50 because that's not a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna do. I'm gonna incorporate a couple of different diets, like the Atkinsy a little bit, which is basically no carbs. The paleo diet, I'm gonna try some aspects of their stuff, like making wraps out of ham, and like using ham instead of the tortilla or the lettuce,
Right.
And I'm going to try to cut carbs out as much as I can. I mean, I'm not going to take breadcrumbs out of meatballs or anything like that. But
Yeah.
But if that's all the carb I'm going to have at dinner, then that's going to be it. So I'm not going to have the pasta with it. So
I don't think carbs. I'm kind of. I don't know. I don't think the carb thing. The no carb, is the way. I think that's kind of overblown, and then you see there's diets out there that involve just as many carbs, and people have great success. I think it's a lot about finding out your body's metabolism and your body's chemistry and what your body. If you start seeing a sudden weight drop when you're doing something, so it's kind of like reselling. If you figure out what's working for you, ignore what everybody else says and just keep on doing that,
Right.
Because
the best thing for me was
it's a one size fits all.
Right. I completely agree. The best thing for me though, which was very hard because like I was not eating until I was starving, and then I was like overeating.
Right.
So
6 meals a day.
I would not eat all day, and then all at once I'd have a whole huge meal, or maybe 2 meals.
Yep.
And so whenever I started this diet, I did like 6 to 8 meals a day.
Yeah.
And it could be a beef stick and a cheese stick and what else? Something really small. But that was a meal. It wasn't like a snack. So and it reset my metabolism, which was good because like right now I have no metabolism.
Yeah, mine's slowed too, but I think it's slow because of the carbs. I mean, I've done different things. Like I've done aspects of Weight Watchers and, all sorts of different stuff. Even the, what is it? The American Heart Association has a diet. I've done, and that's like impossible to stick to because it's like eat under 1,500 calories. Well, when you're used to cramming, 3,000, 4,000 calories, that's a lot. So, the one thing I hadn't tried is low carb. So, hopefully this one sticks. I mean,
yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
I agree with you can go too few calories and force your body into thinking it's starving, at which point your metabolism slows down. But if you just get up in the mornings, and this is what I want to start doing, get up in the morning. Even my doctor said this. She's like, get up in the morning, first thing before you do anything else, throw your tennis shoes on, go for a walk around the neighborhood, get your heart rate up, get your body going, then have your light breakfast, whatever. But like Sally said, the times that I've done the best, I mean, the time I lost a ton of weight. I don't know how many years ago it was, and I mean, I was still eating fairly. I mean, I ate healthy, but the only thing that I really changed was I cut out late night, and this is what seems to work for my body metabolism. Alcohol is dead calories, so I would have a beer if we went to a party or a function, or maybe nothing to drink at all. And I wouldn't eat after a certain time at night. After 7 o'clock at night, I was done. That's it. I don't care how starving I was, whatever. And eventually your body gets used to things really quick. It doesn't take that long to form a habit.
Right.
To a good habit.
Yeah, and they say you're not supposed to drink your calories or whatever.
Right.
Well, dang it. That sucks. How many big old ultras I can have for 1,500 calories? They're only 55. That's 30 beers. Yeah, and the other one I wanted to do, I really would love to do a juice cleanse. And we've got all the stuff that we've got. Somebody gave us a Vitamix a few years ago to do smoothies. We've got all the stuff for it. The only thing I can't quite get past with doing that is that, I'll be graceful here the way I say it, that initial phase of where your stomach, you're going to have gas all day and you're going to be in the bathroom if that's all you're doing is like fruits and veggies. I mean, it's just a lot of it's cleansing your system. And it's kind of
and then once you're cleansed, you have an empty stomach and you think you're starving.
Right.
Because everything comes out of your colon and everything. So your body, it's probably going to be your mind more than anything. You have to eat something because you don't have any food in your system.
Wow. Tom, Queen City Pickers lost 10 pounds in 3 weeks just by cutting back on junk food and making a point to get out and walk about 2 miles a day.
Yeah.
That's great.
Silver Hair Stacker, I think it's already been answered, but for those watching afterwards, Silver Hair Stacker wants to know, should I send Cutco knives in for the free sharpening before selling them? It costs $16 in shipping costs. Unless they're just all jacked up, I wouldn't touch it with a 10. I mean, it's not worth the wait. I don't think you're going to see your extra $16 unless they have a major issue. Which is what I think Valerie and a couple of people had already told. I can't remember which one. Which one of you? I can't keep y'all's names straight. Hold on. So I'm one of the two of you.
Nikki does knives.
Oh, it was Chick Picker. That would be Valerie.
I'm the winner.
Yay.
Chicken dinner. I'm out of small boxes. This is not good.
No, it is not.
I ordered them from the boxery, and they're very, very slow. And they ship everything UPS out of New Jersey.
Why do I feel like I'm in a musical now? Are we going to start singing everything we say?
They're so
That would
pretty.
be interesting.
You guys should do a musical show like once a month.
That would be hilarious.
That would be.
And sad at the same time.
All right, so short of dumpster diving, I need suggestions. I have 5 of these left, and my boxes don't get here till Wednesday. And I'm about to use 2 of them. So I need, and I know Walmart has a 666 for like 48 cents, and it just pains me to pay that. I need a suggestion on, I guess I could dumpster dive. What would be a good store that would have lots of small boxes?
Dollar Tree.
What?
Dollar stores, Dollar Tree, Dollar General. They have great, each one is small boxes.
Go to Dollar Tree. Dollar General has a fit of those boxes.
Does your mailbox store stock boxes?
They probably do, but the owners are never like I've never asked them to buy anything. The old guy that owned it before totally would. Like I would sell him stuff. I'd sell him tape. If I got a really good deal on tape. But like what he was looking for the little red made by Scotch that are the little red handheld dispensers.
Yeah.
That only have like I don't know 30 yards of tape that people buy them. He wanted them for his retail section out front, and he said something one day. He goes, "I know you're in the jungle. If you ever find any of those, will you grab them for me?" And I said, "Well, yeah." And he puts like $4.99 on them. I was like, "What do you normally pay?" He's like $2.25. I said, "What if I can find a whole bunch of it?" I already knew where there were some. I was like, "What if I can find a whole bunch of them for like $1.75?" He's like, "I can take all you'll get." So I went up the road and bought them for $1. Sold them to him for $1.75. But like he would buy and sell stuff with me. The new owners, I haven't really tried it because they're never there, and I don't think their employees are allowed to like really make decisions.
No, gotcha.
Who's doing good on their not so sexy challenge?
Eh?
Is that this week we were supposed to do that? I thought that was last
Yeah,
week.
that's
Yeah, but it ends Wednesday, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Wednesday. Oh, okay. Yeah.
What was the challenge again?
List 5 things a day, or actually 25 items in 5 days from your death pile or not so sexy pile.
No. I already went through it like a month ago and listed all my death pile stuff, so I have literally like nothing in my death pile.
Yeah.
We renamed it to the not so sexy pile.
Yeah.
100% she's finished 12. Not sexy at all. No doubt about that. But 12, that's good. That's 12 that you didn't have to list. You got it done. Halfway there.
I sold some shoes that I just listed this morning.
That's good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Were they off your not so sexy pile?
Yeah.
Good.
$20 for some little isotoners.
That's the thing. I mean, it's your pile starts looking a lot more sexy when you start selling stuff from it.
No doubt.
And then you're like, why didn't I do this sooner? Like,
Yeah, I've only had this box of shoes up there on my desk for about a month.
I knocked out a bunch of stuff out of this week. I don't know the count. I'd have to go back and look. But it definitely got me motivated to, do things that I didn't want to do, like the "oh my god, why did I buy those? I hate listing that kind of item."
Yep.
I don't say that.
Yeah. Well, I think probably everybody has stuff to buy that is worth money, but you put off listing for whatever reason.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, usually when you're buying, especially larger lots of stuff, you want to get the stuff that's your big money to make your money back as fast as you can. And then the rest of it's just like, I'll get to it when I get to it.
I'm reading this back.
Nice one. Blackberry thistle tea. Do you ever buy a lot of stuff you know will not sell just because it is dirt cheap?
No. I don't want to keep it.
Nikki does.
Oh, you
I
need
have,
to buy anything they know is not going to sell. You can buy a lot of quantity and maybe think there's something that's worth selling out of that quantity, but I would never buy something I don't think is ever going to sell.
or you'll buy like a whole lot of stuff just for, a few pieces.
That's true.
And you know that, hey, all this stuff isn't going to sell, but these three things are going to, be a home run for me. But if the deal is you got to take it all, then you got to take it all.
Yeah, I've done that.
That's where you take the stuff that isn't going to sell, if it's a box lot type deal, and get rid of it.
Yeah, that's how you build your death piles.
Find a thrift store on the way home that's closed, that has a back dock that accepts donations, and dump it and run. Don't let it even come in your house if it's crap.
Make sure it's crap.
Or if you do, I've bought a bunch of stuff where I was kind of piling together by the box here recently. Have you a box in the corner of your room that's like I use an old storage tote that's a yard sale / throwaway / donate. And then once that box is full, it goes bye-bye and gets out of here.
Yeah.
Don't let it marinate. Oh, this sucks.
It sucks when you don't get your shipping done and you have to bring it all to town with you to ship it somewhere else.
Yeah, I think we've all done that.
Oh, Lordy, 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 Lordy.
Thistle tea said, let's see, do you ever buy a lot of stuff you know will not sell just because it's dirt cheap?
That's
No.
Jerry read that.
Oh,
So we can
sorry.
answer it again. No. Let's recap. No.
Okay.
Don't do it.
Mistakes happen, but are you going to spend the time? Everybody makes, nobody's a perfect picker, but don't be afraid. And I see too many people trying to hang on to their last dollar. I spent money on that. You know what? Donate it, write off what you spent on it. because that's all you can write off. And write off what you spent on it and move on.
Yep.
Don't try to chase a dollar that doesn't exist.
Jennifer says any tape recommendations on Amazon.
Tape recommendations on Amazon. Not really. I'm sure there's people selling it on there. Probably not going to find. Are you talking Prime or Merchant Fulfilled, or either and or?
Which one?
Jennifer, are you talking Prime?
She said either.
Either.
Biggest problem is there's not a whole lot of profit in tape for people that wholesale it. So you're not, and tape's heavy, so you're not going to find a lot of good deals Prime. I would just look at product reviews. Of course, make sure you're comparing apples to apples. I've seen a lot of people in past posts. This is a really good deal. Like people like that Sparco tape or whatever it was called. Look up Sparco, SPARCO. But it was 55-yard rolls, and it really wasn't a good deal. That's what I call a half roll. Sparco.
I used this. Last one I got was Showmax, and it wasn't bad tape. I can't remember if it's what the link on it was.
I mean, the Sparco that's on there right now is really not a good deal, and it says Amazon's Choice, and it's 6 rolls of 50 meter, which would be 55 yards, which is a half roll, and you get 6 rolls for $16.52. There's no way in hell I would buy that.
It's a horrible deal.
Yeah, that's like almost $3 a roll. So you're paying about $6 for a normal roll of tape if you look at it that way. It's hard to really find any deals on Amazon. Like I said, it's heavy and
I like the deal we found on.
But you can also, I mean, another option would be eBay.
I got the Seal Plus from eBay and I like it. That's the one, Eric. Oh.
Yep.
Just take a guess.
I've had no trouble with that one.
Very good.
I get older, but then when you get questions, I'm like, oh, I bet you.
I can't put a link, but if Valerie doesn't care, I can put the item number in the side.
Oh, that's fine.
And it was pretty fast on getting here, I think. And it's 36 rolls, 110 yards. That's half used up, but 36 rolls for $35.99, so $1 a roll. I paid $33.99. Apparently, it was on sale. But here's the item number for that one. And I ordered it on December 24th. And it got here on January 3rd. Now, keep in mind there was Christmas in there, so.
Yeah, it took about 5 days to show up for me, and I ordered the 18-roll thing, and what was nice is it actually came in a box, so it's not destroyed, half destroyed by the time you get it, unlike EcoSwift.
They sent it out on Tuesday, the 27th of December. Of course, then you had New Year's holiday in there, so that jacked everything up, and it got here the following Thursday, or the following Tuesday, rather. And they ship out of, it looks like California.
Yeah.
The Seal Plus.
And it's been good stuff.
Silver Hair Stacker says, yeah, I have 28 new beer mugs with package. Haven't sold one. Drop your price if you can. Or, I mean, they may not sell, you know.
What kind of beer mugs? You say?
Just beer mugs. Plastic or
Steins,
glass or
glass. Yeah, I mean, just. Oh, sure.
just glass with they're probably heavy too, I would imagine. Like shipping's probably eating you up on those. Unless you can drop them to your break even point, just consider kind of a feedback builder. Craig, you're late. You're late for the party. He just posted the title for the thing. Okay, y'all are distracting me. Turkey sausage. You know, my father-in-law has done. Are y'all there?
Yeah.
My father-in-law,
Yeah.
I mean, it's pricey as hell, but he's done really well on the oh, what's the dang diet where you buy all the food and it's like little portion, whatever, and they send it to you.
Weight Watchers?
No,
Jenny Craig.
Nutrisystem.
Nutrisystem, yeah.
But I mean, he's got the money to do something like that. But you know what? It's like I told Tristan. I said the thing is that food's not all that. It's just portion control. That's all it is.
Yeah.
What makes it for people that aren't disciplined enough, it makes it super easy because they got somebody telling them eat one blue, eat one green, eat one pink, and then at lunch you can have it again. You know, you can have a snack from this pile or whatever.
Yep.
This has got to be off a bottle machine, hey?
I believe so. Or could be.
I don't think a can machine is that now. When you have it from the door next to it.
I'm just putting there probably, but you don't know to be honest.
Never honest.
Well,
Ugh. Thanks.
Laura Lee said the DESDM diet. Don't eat so damn much diet.
Yeah.
Next, we can have it open.
Which one was it?
Nothing.
Formerly known as the seafood diet.
It's like me.
Which one?
I'll get one next.
Oh, it's kind of funny, but dieting is
Weapons and Warriors.
one of those things that you can't
There was only
have a habit of.
3 things that were open in that. The rest of that is
You don't need to smoke.
Hmm.
You don't need to drink, but you need to eat. And so it can be very difficult when you're starting out, especially to maintain that discipline.
Yeah.
Sam, I muted you because I didn't know if that was a personal conversation you were having and you didn't know your thing was on, but it wasn't personal. I just didn't want you to be like
Uh-oh.
with your wife about your sex life or whatever. And we're all gonna be like, well, that's interesting.
If you don't know me by now, everything is up for discussion. No, we went to a kid consignment this weekend. Kid consignment sale.
Is that that picture you posted?
Yeah, yeah. I also did a video
So how much were the
yesterday.
kids going for?
Cheap. I did a video yesterday that'll be up later on today. I actually walked down some of the aisles and try to hit as much as I can. And we ended up spending like $30 the first day because it wasn't half off day. But the reason why we go twice is to scope out the things that we want to pick up the next day, which is half off. So
Yeah.
we got some pretty cool stuff.
Did you yell at anybody in the consignment sale?
I wanted to, but I didn't.
So is
You
it
know-
mainly toys and stuff like that?
You
What's
know,
So is it mainly toys?
Mainly, yeah. Some books, some DVDs, a coffee maker, because apparently you can get coffee maker at good consignment sales.
Yeah.
Kids aren't getting enough caffeine. That's the problem.
Yeah.
you know, and I'm just gonna say, and I'll probably get called sexist for it, but if my wife was in here as a female, she would agree. That can be the toughest crowd at some of those types of sales, like just kind of rough.
Yep. It can be. I mean, it wasn't too bad. We didn't have many issues, but it's mainly just people down the aisles with their shopping carts. Like they just abandon their cart to go to sneak through the tables to the next aisle, and it's like, your cart's in the way, man. Go around like normal people
They
do.
start shopping their cart.
Yeah.
Or
I
put
should've.
things in their cart for them to help them out. That's always fun.
But it wasn't very pushy or people fighting over stuff. Sometimes you see that, but it wasn't that bad.
I think I want to go somewhere today. I just don't know where. Somewhere that'll make me money that I never go.
You might have to go a couple towns over.
That's what I'm thinking. Like a little mini road trip.
Yeah.
And
How's Decatur for picking?
I don't go over there much. You know, it's I mean, there's stuff over there. The problem is, and maybe it's just a southern thing, is that a lot of our places. Look at that! Look at that thing.
Sexy.
Nice. That's not bad turkey sausage. You know, a lot of our places are closed on Mondays.
Yeah.
Even when
That's fair.
doors. Okay, that's the Aldi brand turkey sausage that has rosemary and thyme in it. It's got just enough of the rosemary that's like actually a good sausage. You know what I mean?
Did you pick that up at the Scarborough Fair?
Nobody got it.
Rosemary and thyme.
Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme.
Oh, the younger people are going, huh?
I'm probably the youngest here.
I just didn't say anything.
Why is that old guy singing?
Why is he singing about spices?
Eric, did you see Mr. Sadie's comment?
No.
He said, I bought an old composite jointed doll at auction Friday night in your honor, friend.
Ah, well, thank you. Hopefully you make some money on it. I've started to work my way through my dolls so I can get them listed.
Thank you.
I think so.
Damn it. Oh, darn it.
Yeah, that's the right one.
Oh, dang it.
All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the show. Hope you guys had a great day, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. If you hit the like button or the thumbs up if you like the video or the show, and if you didn't, go ahead and push the the thumbs down and let us know why you don't like it.
I don't like
And
it.
piss
I don't
off.
like them.
There you go.
Just
That's what
kidding.
I'm saying.
And if you leave a thumbs down, all we need requires your address and your phone number within the comments, so we can contact you.
Absolutely.
Come beat your ass.
We will
Thank
see y'all tomorrow, and many cha-ching to you. And
Bye,
Bye.
Felicia.
Peace.